You probably know that Shanti Da is recovering from a bad fall. I am honored to read her words this morning. So when I say I, just remember it's not me, it's Shanti Da talking. Be green, love your mother. I grew up an introverted loner, often sickly and without friends or playmates. All my life I have had an eye condition which makes reading a challenge. One consequence of this, and have often been confined to bed throughout grade school years, was that I learned to stare at the wallpaper or at almost anything. It relieved some of the boredom, but also taught me to see patterns, to concentrate, and to focus on and appreciate details. When I was healthy, which was much of the time, I was required to be outdoors once school and homework were attended to. Even in wintertime, I was expected to get some fresh air. I would wander the yard, the neighborhood, the woods of our home's Cincinnati hillside, too steep for development. I explored the mud and the abundant Ordovician-era fossil rocks. I stared at trees, whether barren or leafed. School was a mile away. I remember the joy of taking the woodsy shortcut in April when all the earth was alive and tender green. I remember the walk home from school, and on one particular mild and sunny winter day, as the snow was rapidly melting, I walked atop the curb and stared at the gutter. My gaze did not move, but as my body advanced, I became a bird, staring at a mighty river raging in its course. A twig became a tree, and I rooted for it to churn along and navigate each gutter obstacle. At the age of 6, I was sent to Nature Club at a large Cincinnati park, where each summer Thursday was a day-long class filled with picture flashcards to learn trees and birds. There were nature walks and handicraft projects using acorns, sycamore things, and the like. Okay. At 10, I joined the Junior Explorers, which met at the park's small museum each Saturday. And there I and others studied not only trees, plants, and birds, but also rocks and stars, and all the ways of nature. There was a lapidary, but before I was allowed to use it, I had to polish a stone by hand, grinding against sharpening stones of various grades of coarseness and fineness. At 13, I became a senior explorer, where besides further learning, there were field trips and an overnight bedroll stay in a forest, and a walk in the dark to a campfire, the highlight of which was an initiation into the ways of nature, which included my being given the Ojibwe or Shawnee Algonquin Nation name of Wabos, Jackrabbit. Of course, now I would say Joan Rabbit. The night concluded with our singing of our own hymn to First Peoples and nature. An 18th century aphorism says, "As the twig is bent, so is the tree inclined." It is clear to me that my love of earth and nature were made deep in me again and again in my earliest years. Between 2005 and 2016, I amassed over 50,000 photographic images. I imaged as I walked the streams, floodplains, and forest remnants, mostly in an area within 5 miles of my home. The emergence into life prominence of my lifelong gender issue may have ended the picture taking, but not the reverence for life, trees, and small plants, mushrooms, ferns, mosses, insects, and larger animals. In short, the wild world beyond the human enthralls me. To walk the woods or our city streets and see the trash and litter all around is humbling and painful. To know from different sources the destruction of habitats for all but human life can wrench one's gut. To realize my own contribution to Earth's degradation becomes a wake-up call to action. There's much I do not do, but I do my best to use less and to recycle as much as I can. I take the paper label off of cat food cans. It goes with the paper. The can is aluminum. Pure Pak is the company that makes cardboard containers for beverages. I pull out the plastic spout and recycle it separately from the paper board. I feel compelled, obsessed even, to do thoroughly what I can. Wherever possible, I buy organic food and save Earth from synthetic fertilizers which poison our waterways. I am grateful for all my life has given me, the pains and the joys. All of it has made me who I am, and I can still grow and learn the better to love. We all have times of flourishing, and we all will die. We are animals too. We are part of nature, children of earth, inseparable from air, soil, water, weather. As Chief Seattle said, what we do to the web of life, we do to ourselves. And I'm grateful for a mantra that has grown inside me. Be green, love your mother.